Why is curling such a passion for Canadian farmers? We think we know. In farming and curling, the idea is the same. It's about friends and family, teamwork, using the right tools, and getting it done under pressure. That's why New Holland and Pioneer Hybrid are proud to support Curling Canada, helping to grow the game we love. From your team at New Holland and Pioneer Hybrid, here's to success in the field and fun in the rink.
Every day you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town, or many things to many towns all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move to places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all three.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
I believe hard work and honest sweat are the building blocks of a person's character.
I believe farming nurtures the close family ties that make life rich in ways money can't buy.
I believe that true happiness comes from watching your crops ripen in the field, your children grow tall in the sun, your whole family feel the pride that springs from their shared experience.
I believe in farming because it makes all this possible. Long before the snow begins to melt, planning for the seeding season is underway. Start seeding off strong by using the right drill for the job. New Holland's P2082 disc drill precisely and consistently places seed and fertilizer for rapid nutrient uptake, and it does it all in one pass. Experience equal and even emergence through the innovation of New Holland. To learn more, visit your local New Holland dealer.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2019 Recharge with Milk Men's Ontario Tankard and Women's Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by Curl On and Title Sports Live. We are at the Woolwich Memorial Centre in Elmira, Ontario. My name is Mary Chilvers and I am joined here by my co-host Danielle Inglis. So for today's game we have from the Mississauga Golf and Country Club, Justin Murphy, and their opponent today is Kathy Auld from the Cataraqui Golf and Country Club. And for Kathy Auld, we have Jennifer Audie as the lead, Karen Rouse was the second, Erin Morrissey is the third, and Kathy Auld is the skip. Up against Team Murphy, Grace Holyoke as lead, Stephanie Matheson second, Janet Murphy is the third, and Justin Murphy is the skip. So by virtue of a draw to the button, Team Murphy did get the hammer, the first end.
Now we're going to have a fantastic matchup this afternoon. They are two teams that are hanging out in the middle to top of the standings here, and this is going to be a big game for them. Just to give you a little preview of where we are at in the standings, Team Homan and Team Duncan are currently leading the pack at 3-0. Team Murphy is in second at 2-1. Team Auld, Team Horton, and Team Tippin and Team Harrison are all at 1 win and 2 losses. Team Brandwood at 0-3, still searching for that first win.
Yeah, so these two teams, Murphy 2-1 and Auld 1-2. It is a huge game for both teams.
We also have 3 other games out on the ice today. We have Team Bice and Team Ferris over on sheet A.
Clean.
We have Team Howard taking on Team Wretchless on sheet B. And it is Team Brandwood and Team Horton over on sheet D. And we'll keep you updated on those scores as we go throughout the game. But if you're curious to get the scores live updated to the minute, you can always go on Curl On's website, which is ontcurl.com/scoreboard. So a pretty standard first end, start to the first end here, Mary.
Yeah, well, especially for the women. Like to play it open for the first end. This one's really moving. Going to be a rollout here.
One of the things the teams are doing throughout this week is they're mapping the ice, and each sheet can be a little bit different. And we were overhearing the teams talk about what the ice would do during their practice. Each team had 7 minutes to practice before the game. And they were saying Team Murphy in particular picked up on the fact that there's more curl in certain spots of the ice than others. There's still tons of curl, but there are certain spots that really take off. We'll touch on those later in the broadcast when we get to those paths.
On this line at least, hard. Hard, keep curling, hard, yep.
So with that rollout, that does give Justin a chance to put this corner guard up, and I think the Murphy team likes to play a little more aggressively. Well, all team will play as well. But she's getting right into it here on the first end.
Absolutely. Jess has been pretty fearless this season especially, just going for it.
Well, you know, and what's really something is that this is Justin Murphy's first year playing ladies out of the U21. And really she has had a spectacular year. Getting to this Scotties alone is spectacular for her.
She's the combination. Whenever you throw a new team together, everyone's always curious to see how it will go, including the teammates themselves sometimes. And you have a mother-daughter combination on the Murphy team.
Yeah.
And it seemed to work out really well for them. Jess has just been making shot after shot.
Line's good. Lots of line. Whoa. Starting to curl.
And this is a spot where we see a lot of late finish, so we'll hang out there until about the AMJ Campbell logo.
Great.
Now you can see how hard it's finishing.
Keep curling,
You know, that's amazing, Danielle, because when you're looking at that rock 3/4 of the way down, you think there is no way that rock is going to bury. And it's pretty much buried.
So it's just something where the sweepers have to be patient and just wait for it to hit that break point.
Yeah.
What I mean by break point is the point when the rock starts to curl. It'll run straight for a period and then start to curl. And on this ice, the break point, and specifically in that spot, is pretty late. And that will be on the guard.
Go.
That will leave 2 corner guards up there for Team Murphy.
We can go around this one wide.
They have 2 corner guards to work with here. Now what they want to watch out for is not leaving some sort of a double potentially in behind here off of their rock on the center line.
Line's good. Go ahead, line's good. Straight the whole way. Really curling.
Yeah, this is another curly spot we've seen in the ice, particularly inside out, but this spot particularly really takes off, even on hits.
Yeah, that was had the broom on center line, and that's actually curled to the 12-foot. So lots of curl. Our boys in the weather station are doing a great job this week. Weather station being the ice techs. That's what they call their little cubby.
And speaking of weather, as most of the rest of the province is getting hit with a storm, we are in deep here in Elmira. But despite that, we've had incredible crowds out here this week.
We have, yeah, got a good crowd here this afternoon.
Okay. Just top 8.
A good opportunity for Janet to get a rock right in behind the corner.
Line's good. Rube.
Yeah, this is perfect situation for the Murphy team in the first end here with the hammer.
Great. Straight, yep, hard. Yep, go, hard. Okay.
That will
14-7.
come up slightly short.
Not a bad spot for it, though. It could be promoted in or split in later on in the end.
Absolutely, and where they are here with their rock almost completely buried. I mean, the way it curls here, Mary, even though it's mostly buried, it's very accessible.
Very, yeah.
And Kathy's calling it 11, so that's like what you would refer to as like controlled down weight.
I'm even wondering if she has enough ice for an 11 here.
I was wondering the same,
yeah.
Mary.
But she threw it out. She was wondering the same as well.
And a lot of rotation, but you can see
look
just
at
how much it moves. Beautiful. Erin Morrissey, the vice for the team, and she had asked for 11, but that was more like a backline, not quite hack. So that's more like a 12 and a half, 13 almost. Erin is known for her ability to draw like nobody's business and also to play more of the lightweight shots. So making that shot not surprising.
Line's good, clean.
Team Murphy would like to see their shooter rolling behind the corner guard.
Hard! Okay, your nose. Whoa. Good. Sorry, guys.
And that just caught Justin when she was calling line, thinking it was that hanging out, and then it took a really sharp turn at the end.
Nice weight, Janet. A little fresh. I probably could have anticipated.
You know what my most curious question is here on these mother-daughter or father-son duos or teammates is, does Justin call her mom out in the ice or Janet?
Yeah, you know what, that's
like nice shot, Mom.
Yeah, you know what, I hear her call her Janet when we play against her.
I just heard her say Janet.
She said Janet.
Yeah.
Well, we even have that. We have not quite the same situation, but on our team we have Jessica and Stephanie Corrado, and our coach is Lynn Corrado, their mom.
Their mom.
And they tend to call her Lynn.
They do, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, teach your own, but I guess especially when you're trying to get one person to sweep two, you may not want to call Mom, you may want Janet or something. And a great roll here from Kathy. Speaking of clutch players.
Kathy's, she's a bit of a veteran in this this competition. She's been in many Scotties Ontario championships.
A former teammate of yours too.
Yeah, I used to play with Kathy. I think Kathy, she's been runner-up in this event twice.
Same path as yours, which I got 13 and a half, pretty much.
She's a very talented player, and no matter what the situation, she can make some pretty clutch shots.
She can. So Justin's going to just throw the out-turn draw here and try to freeze on top of the blue one.
Line's good.
And
line's good.
This line is looking good.
Close, straight.
Almost need to.
Room.
It's cruising with a little bit of heavy weight, but the line is still looking good.
No, you're bouncing off. No. Sit.
She was actually pretty close on that, but it will do the trick. It's
good judge.
About edge on edge. There's still a guard for Team Auld to contend with.
But again, with such a big swing there, just give yourself enough ice and should not be a problem.
Important to trust your throw too here and trust what you're seeing and throw. I mean, even though you get in a spot that's curly, you also can't out it too far. Otherwise, you'll blow by the rock that way. So just a nice clean release on here. Positive rotation, go through the curl. This will be Kathy's last rock of the first end. Yeah, Kathy was calling whoa there, but
Steph was sweeping, or not Steph.
Jen
was sweeping even harder. Not listening to my skip.
Well, that didn't come, there wasn't a lot of air by that guard. But good chunk of the 8-foot will get Team Murphy the single. So well done. Mission accomplished for Team Auld.
13-4.
Forcing Team Murphy into a single point.
Still felt slow slide with a nice press, eh? Okay. T-line.
This will be the last rock of the first end. Team Murphy drawing against who needs piece of the 8-foot for the single.
Line's good. Curling a little. Line's nice. Whoa.
This is still cruising. It's like it will be one, possibly two. I'm going to take a quick look. Can't tell. It looks like it's close, but looks like it might be, I'd say yellow.
Oh, it's absolutely yellow. Yeah.
We'll wait for the official confirmation, and it appears, yes, that is just one, a seal of one for Kathy Auld after the first end. And over on sheet B, the game Team Retchless and Team Howard, it was Team Howard who blanked the first end. Our other two games are still in progress on the first end with several rocks in play.
And we only threw really like 3.
Just a quick note to our viewers, if you missed any of the previous games, we would encourage you to check them out. They are archived on titlesportslive.ca if you click on the tournaments tab, and you can select either Scotties or Tankard.
And towards D, I took us into the 4-foot because I figured it would finish hard, and it really did. Yeah. Okay. Same thing. Delay.
Expect this rock to be called right into the top 4. Jen was a little tight, and you can see it moving hard.
Get it in, because we're going to be a corner guard otherwise. Go, 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 go. Hard.
It's losing the weight as it curls really hard, but that just goes to show a little tight, and I would say a little soft on her release, and just how much of a difference that makes. If that kept going, that was about 2.5 feet difference.
Yeah, Justin was going to hit this, but I like this call better. Don't worry about that rock. That's not going to hurt you at all. Get that corner guard up.
We're in an even end, and it's always good to take that opportunity if you have hammer to try to score your deuce.
This one looking a little hot out of her hand.
It does curl in this spot, but it also doesn't tend to grab very much. Even now, we can see it's still cruising nicely.
Good one.
Good shot.
And that was beautiful. Again, what we're seeing out here in terms of the speed of the ice is that it takes the practice in the first end, or the first time a rock goes down a path during the game, to come up to full speed. It's still at a great speed. But in the case of, say, that corner guard, if she were to throw it, I imagine, with the same time down that same path, it would probably be in.
Right.
It was a little grind there, but that's how fast these paths become. And that's one of the fastest paths on the ice once you throw it a couple times.
This is Jennifer Audi, the lead for Team Auld. This is her second appearance here at the Scotties Ontario Championship. Not a good result there for Jennifer. I think she's just getting, like you say, not out to the broom, and not a good solid rotation.
And take a moment to talk about rotation and how that can affect the speed of the rock too.
Yeah.
You can be close to the broom, but if you don't have enough rotation, it's going to grab the pebble more and slow down. So as a matter of fact, if you kick with the same speed and have a better rotation, it's going to go farther.
Right.
On the flip side, so if you've ever seen what we affectionately call the helicopter, right, a million rotations down the ice, it'll keep going and going and going.
All
so
right.
it's important to recognize what the rotation is doing.
So Grace makes a nice come around the corner guard. Kathy's going to ignore it and come around the blue.
Got the line here, but they need it to hit the brakes. It will go flying through the back.
Nosing, it's all right. 9.5.
This will be a hit and roll for Stephanie Matheson.
Hard! Hard! Yep, hard to nose! Hard to nose! Hard!
Right off the line, we see it making a huge move.
10.
That will roll to second corner guard.
You have any of that? Okay. Straight peel.
Not a bad result because Team Murphy does have the hammer here, so they prefer to keep the rocks towards the outside. Got the hit and roll, and what a shot that was. Make contact and peel both the yellows out and sit in the house. They're not shots, so Team Murphy will come around this.
Yeah, it actually kind of works to Murphy's favor here. She's kind of got two corner guards up here now.
On the ice will run straight until you hit
Line's good. 5.
close to the center line, and then will go.
Hard line.
She thought she had a little too. She didn't quite have enough ice, is what I had thought there. But
as far as you can.
This also came up a little bit short.
More. Good.
A little bit, Danielle. Now I'm playing Pete Stetsky role. Someone has to be Pete Stetsky up here this afternoon.
And that will be Mary Chilvers all day, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and that's characteristic when you see going across the forefoot. It's generally a little slower. So an open hit for Erin Morrissey.
Go, hard, Jen. Go. Hard to hold the shoot. Good. 9.5.
Good scrub to sit 2. This draw is still available though. Just given about the same ice, so perhaps she thought Stephanie was a little bit tight and maybe not quite as positive on the release. So it'll be Janet throwing this draw.
Little tight.
Yeah, a little bit tight on that release too. This will move.
Straight, hard. Yep, you're holding it. Line's great. Yep, hard line. Okay, whoa, no. Yep. Roll it off a hair. Okay.
Yeah, and they're just a little light. They actually
Just
were
over the
holding
heart,
it for a while, but you notice, Mary, they picked it up right from the hand. So what that says is even if they were a little bit tight, you still could afford to give at least a half a foot more.
Yeah, you're right, Danielle.
We have some questions coming in through Twitter, and thank you for that. And of course, if you'd like to get a hold of Mary and I throughout the broadcast, we're happy to answer the audience questions. My Twitter handle is @InglisDanielle.
And mine is @MaryChilvers.
So, well, the first one from Kevin is asking, guess they don't play a rule that if you hit the backboard on a draw, that's a round of drinks.
That's a club curler rule.
That also applies, by the way, if you hog a rock in the club play.
Yeah.
You owe your teammates some drinks.
Lots of room still. Whoa. No. Needs to work.
This
Whoa.
got the line, though. This one is coming in heavy.
No. Yep.
It's starting to dig. To mention the 4-foot lines, it will dig. Just a little heavy, and it didn't see as much finish as they would have liked, but they are staying 3. Question from Steven on Twitter is, I'm surprised by how many draws have been going through the house in games I've been watching. Any thoughts? Is it the ice changing that much from practice through the first couple ends? I would say a little bit. The other thing is just players still getting used to it. We're getting into the middle part of the competition. And it does change. The other thing, too, is that quite often it's the skip throwing the majority of the rocks in the practice. I mean, I would say each other teammate is getting maybe 4 rocks each, not necessarily in the paths that they're going to throw a draw. So if they don't see that exact path, they may not pick up on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good point he makes, that there have been a lot of draws going through the house. And it is a little surprising at this level.
Especially if they're starting to get used to the ice, to just understanding how fast it is. I mean, we have the distinct advantage of seeing this sheet several times. So if they needed anything, they should just come talk to us because we're observing this. But in general, they should be understanding at this point in the competition that it is going to pick up really quick, especially by the second end.
Yes.
And the paths, you see, if you're throwing the draw, the button path, which is edge of 8, somewhere around there, it will be fast because that's been thrown in practice. If you're in the 4-foot lines, like we've seen a couple of them, it's slow a bit at first. Going inside out, it's maybe 1 rock, and then it's fully up to speed. So there's the breakdown of all the paths in the ice in case any teams out there need to know what's going on Sheet C specifically. But yeah, sometimes players just get tricked. But we expect to see a lot less of those as the week goes on.
We might see one right here. No, she's got backing. I didn't see that rock, but that was definitely back 12 weight.
And in that case, too, because she had backing, that's a reason why she might have been a hair heavier, knowing that she had that there.
Anyway. Either that or this. And she freezes. We'll probably have a second point here.
So it looks like Auld is sitting 1 and 2. Close between the yellow at the back and the blue on the side.
Again, Team Murphy with the hammer. So this is Justin's first rock of the second end.
They're not in the 4-foot. The edge of the rock might be.
So she is going to try bury right behind this guard in the top 4-foot. There's no reason to come to the backing. It is, I would say, almost the tolerance, but they're really going for 2. They need to keep this above the tee and buried.
Yeah, if Justin can get this around these guards, fight the 4-foot, she still has a chance at 2 points here.
Line's good. 6-7, line's good.
They're working this 4 line.
Yep, stay on it. Hard.
It will be coming up short of the rings. This gives Kathy an out in terms of
light the whole way.
Being able to really slam one in a good position.
Okay.
Yeah, Justin, just a little light on that draw.
As I mentioned, the tolerance on that one would have been to be heavy into the back. Because now you see it's a free draw for Kathy, and she doesn't even need to be fully open on this one. Like even her other rock is almost in the 4-foot, so even if she was, and she's also setting third shot here, so even if she was just fully open in the 8-foot, it would still force Justin to throw a double just to pick up their 1. So power position here for Kathy. So the sweepers calling this a 7 or 8, so that's T-line or back 4. Skin the finishing, they're thinking it's all there.
Yes! Yep!
Sweeping for finish, and will get partially buried, but it lets Justin off the hook, and she now has a draw to the button to pick up their single.
I'm just going to time this draw, Danielle. I have not done that yet this week. I'm just
right.
curious here what draw weight actually is
as she just threw.
being timed at this week. I'm guessing it's got to be 20.
Janet likes a little more over the
15
heart. 15
hog to hog, do you think?
Yeah. I think at least 15.
Yeah.
So this is the last rock of the second end. Justin Murphy drawing against 3, needing the piece of the button for the single.
Line's good. 7, line's good. Whoa.
This looks like it's cruising, but it will take a turn.
Starting to curl. Curl first. Curl first. Curl first.
And that will be good for the single. So we are all tied up after 2 ends of play in our Murphy-Auld game.
That's a great pressure shot by Justin Murphy.
Quick update on the other games across the ice. We have Team Howard being forced to a single point in end 2 by Team Wretchless. It scores 1-0. Team Bice picked up a single point in end 1, and they lead Team Ferris 1-0, and Pat just making a pressure draw against 3, and what we're seeing, it's just coming into the button. It will stop in time, so Team Ferris, Team Bice tied up at 1-1, but Team Bice putting the pressure on that game. It's also, we have a 1-0 score over on the Brandwood and Horton game on sheet D, and a few rocks left to come in the second. Of course, you can always keep track of the scores at ontcurl.com/scoreboard.
Line's good. Line's good.
A center line called.
No, line's going to be fine. Has not curled yet.
Between each of these ends, the teams gather together. They have about 30 seconds, so have a quick chat about what their game plan is, or their end plan is. And that's something you don't see as often at a club level, simply because people like to keep the game moving, or perhaps don't have the knowledge that this might be a good idea.
Right.
But and the reason for that is it's not only the skip calling the strategy, but it's important that everyone's on the same page, so they understand where they're going with this end and what kind of approach there is, because that your goal of the end basically dictates every single shot that you throw.
Right.
Go, go, go. Yep.
So in this case, I bet that Team Murphy loved to force Team Auld to a single, and that's why they threw the center line, and Team Auld called they would have liked that rock to be in the back, and what that says is that they would have liked to have blanked.
Right.
But this is an uber aggressive move from Team Murphy. I'm not shocked by their aggression, because I've seen that, but I am shocked by the fact that the rock was in the top and they wouldn't play a possible hit and roll.
Line's really good here. Starting to curl a little. Really curling straight. Yep.
Yep. Room. Line's good. No finish.
Here's that finish on it,
Great
and
shot.
what a beautiful shot by Grace. Jen Audi being asked for a freeze.
Line's good. Wait only. Needs to be here though. Yep, line.
Jennifer wanted to send a shout out to both the Ottawa and Rideau curling clubs, where she and her teammate Erin curl, even though they are labeled here under the Cataraqui Golf and Country Club.
That's all 4 curlers on the team have to be members of the same club, though quite often now what we see is teammates are spread out all over, so they're not necessarily all in the same city. So that's where you see sometimes teammates play a league more often in one club, but they still represent the club, or at least go and practice there, or maybe even run a clinic there.
Yeah.
So they're still affiliated with the clubs.
Okay, your nose. Not enough ice.
They tried to hit and roll, but that will be a nose.
That was thrown by Stephanie Matheson, the second for the Murphy team. Stephanie is on maternity leave right now. She just had her second child. 2 very adorable children she has.
They are. I remember when Gray, her firstborn, it was a couple years ago at provincials, and they actually had a little mini jacket made up for her.
Right, I did see that. That's so cute.
I believe I saw something similar, or little curling shoes or something.
Yeah.
For a second, but oh my goodness, adorable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Karen Rousel
Yep. Just roll it over. Whoa,
throwing the peel.
Roll it in if you can. Yep. That's good.
One of the things that you see with the top teams too is
Line's good. Starting
the communication back and forth between all 4 of them.
Good.
So out of the hand, the player mentioning how they might have thrown it. Oh, I think I gave that a little.
Good shot.
It's up to the sweepers, of course, to judge the weight and communicate that down to the skip so they can make a decision on how the rock will play out. And then the skip can also help assist the sweepers as well with judging weight by talking about how the path is. So are you on the same path as a previous rock thrown down there? Is it running a little straight? Which in that case, if you say that, that would indicate that the rock might be a little heavier. Or is it really curling? In which case would indicate to the sweepers that it's probably going to lose some weight.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, communication is key.
No.
This one might be a flash, might get a little piece of it.
Okay, that's fine.
Not bad.
Those striking bands, right, Mary?
All those striking bands.
So active.
Yeah.
You could see she barely touched it, and it went right over into corner guard position.
Yeah, brand new rocks here for this competition from Canada Curling Stone. Shout out to them.
Line's good. Whoa. Okay, we have to curl on that line.
Janet Murphy,
Curl.
mom to the skip here this
Whoa.
week.
Curl still. Curl, yep. Curl, yep. Hard. Yep, hard. More hard. Yep. Good. Good call, guys.
They also have Janet's husband and Jess's father, Hugh, as their coach.
8.5.
And Hugh and Janet, actually, they curl mixed doubles together. They've been to several national championships.
Yep. They actually 4-time national participant with Janet and Hugh Murphy, bronze medal in 2015.
Whoa. Yes, yep, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Great shot. Good.
And again, it's Team Auld with the hammer, and you can see that where that was left, it's about 3/4 buried. It's accessible, but now Jess will have to play off of it.
Yeah, there's too many blues in the house here now for Justin's comfort level, so she's going to have to remove one of them and stick around in the house would be perfect.
Whoa, clean, yep. Whoa, whoa.
This will curl.
Curl, yep, hard curl.
Sorry, guys. 9-4.
9-4 is what she said, and that's the time between hog lines, so that's more like a normal weight hit. And just, if you're going to use that kind of weight, you have to be pretty precise.
That goes here and we go here. Just 10 though.
Well, pretty good setup here for Kathy. She's going to be sitting 3 after this shot. Wants to roll away, not to set up any double.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Erin
No.
Morrissey.
No.
Spawn the ice. You will see it move as soon as it approaches here, and here it goes.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, that's not that fine. I'm kind of surprised that she let that over curl because this is a gimme double now.
I'm with you, Mary. I'm guessing they were just thinking it was going to come up really hard at the end and cross the face easily. But again, back to our knowledge of seeing these spots on the ice all week, that's been one spot that if you do throw some weight at it, control or more on it, it will run and not get as much finish as other spots. So if that's the case, as you're referring to, Mary, that you would want to kind of play the audible on that and sweep it so that you get the roll the other way.
Right. Kathy's still set up for 2 here, though. Unless, we're going to probably make the double here and either sit there or roll a little bit away from the corner. This one is curling.
Yep, clean.
Nice shot by Justin.
Good sweep, guys. Nice one.
Still time for a skipper's deuce.
Kathy could actually still get 3 in this. Is that one's on? Is it not, Danielle, the blue?
I would have to see an overhead one. It's hard to
say.
Hard to tell. And even with the overhead, we don't have a complete look because, of course, no matter where you put the camera, you would always need to be right over top of the rock, and just, of course, unless you're a player, you're not going to be able to see it fully. But
where's our overhead view, Title Sports Live? That was our hint.
This will be Kathy's first rock of the third end.
No, no. 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 No, no. No.
This is good for a roll here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What a beautiful roll.
There we go, Danielle. Yeah, the blue's not on, so.
Don't want to be like back tees.
Thanks, guys.
You get the finish, yeah.
So nice roll for Kathy, and Justin's going to have to try to sneak one in behind all that granite to take this end away from Kathy.
Back tee. Tee line's fine. We just want to bury, really.
In this case, they need to have it buried. They'd like to keep it as high as possible while staying buried, because if it's further back or it's exposed, it'll make a shot by Kathy, playable for possibly a deuce. And this is the last rock for Justin Murphy of the third end.
Room right now. Line's good. Line's good. Whoa.
The line is perfect, but it is still moving.
Sit.
And that will just sit in time. It is overburied, but by the way this ice curls, she only needs to tap it back about half a rock to get shot number 1 and 2 out of it. So basically a heavy draw coming up here.
See? It'll go in here. Okay. I'm just going to throw like back 8 to back 12. And then you guys can sweep it if the line's good. We don't have to move it very far.
So last rock of the third end. Coming right up, Kathy Auld searching for 2 points, playing a heavy draw to tap back the yellow.
No! Karen! Karen! Hard! 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 Roll it in! Roll it in! Yep.
Wreck off the
Go,
top,
go.
and
Yep.
with the weight, they have managed to roll it on for the single. So it'll be Team Auld up 2-1 over Team Murphy. That will be Team Murphy with the hammer going into end number 4.
So I have a Twitter question here, Danielle. This is from York, at York Urbanist.
Otherwise known as my father.
Is it?
Mark Inglis. Yes.
Are you serious? Oh, that's funny. Funny how you probably saw it too then. Is it audible, as in ODDIBLE, or audible, AUDIBLE? And who comes up with these hashtag curling terms? Certainly the Scots have done their best to confuse at Scottish Curling.
Well, it's the latter, and it's more of a football term, actually.
Yeah.
Calling the audible, and it just essentially means that they're going for something originally, and then they change their mind and go for the second one.
Right.
There's my layman's football terms.
Right.
Coming up to Football Sunday. We've got the Super Bowl coming up.
That's right, yeah.
And there's been another question on Twitter of someone wanting to know they're loving the bios that of all the players and would like to know a little bit about the commentators.
Really? Who's this from?
Stephen Holmberg.
Do we know them? Okay. Where do we start with that?
I'll take it away, Mary.
Well, how about I tell about you and you tell about me? Okay. So, of course, Danielle Inglis has just won the World Mixed Championship, curling with Mike Anderson and Sean
Harrison.
Sean and his wife, Lauren Harrison. And, of course, we're both from Ontario. And, yeah, we've been very lucky to get to know the Titleist Sports Live crew, and they were nice to ask us to come on board.
Mm-hmm. And Mary Chilver, she has won this competition how many times?
Twice.
Twice won it, was a silver medalist at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. That's the national event. And also another fun fact, Mary this past weekend just qualified for the senior provincials.
That's right.
So pretty exciting.
And
I have not qualified for Ontario provincials, so I am not on the ice. I am happy to be talking about it here and having lost to Team Murphy on last rock in one of our qualifiers, just making a nice shot. But so I will. That's why I'm warming the bench this whole week.
I do have to plug my podcast as well. I'm also co-host of the Two Girls in a Game curling podcast. We certainly have a lot of fun doing that.
So this end has been a little bit more straightforward so far. Some target practice.
We could talk about the
Starting to curl now.
our co-host who happens to have the afternoon off, Danielle, and that would be Pete Stetsky.
Mine's really good.
He is currently
15-5.
most famous for being the MC of the Grand Slam events. So he's in-house.
Good shot.
Yeah, so if you're ever at a Grand Slam event, he is the one who is talking to you in the crowd.
Yeah, Pete's got quite a personality, lots of charisma, and I think we now decided he's the Howard Stern of curling after being up here on the mic all week.
That's a good way of putting it. He's, of course, played competitively for several years, and he's been, we'll call him a super fifth in his most recent endeavors, and he was at the fifth for Team Jacobs at the Olympic trials.
Hard, every inch. Yep, every inch.
A quick update on the scores on the other sheets. Team Brandwood blanked the third end, and they are tied up 1-1 with Team Horton after 3. It is 1-1 for Team Rechless and Team Howard after 3 ends of play. Team Bice getting a deuce in N3, so they lead Team Ferris 3-1.
Close for line. Line's okay. Straight a little, yep. Line. Hard line. Hard line. Hard line. Yep, hard. Yep, hard. Hard.
Here's where we see this nice really move and a big scrub, but that will rub off.
14-5.
Right, wait, we heard 14-5 on the draw, so that would have been pretty close to T-line if it hadn't rubbed off. So good speed on this ice.
Danielle, we had a nice lunch here before this game. I was going to go for the ham and egger, but I decided that I'm not a breakfast girl after 12 o'clock. So
yes, there's some great restaurants in Elmira.
Sure.
For fans to enjoy. And it's nice to have those options close by the arena because this is not a day you want to be outside.
Oh my God, it's cold here.
But once you get in the building, it's fantastic.
It is. And just a little fun fact about the town of Elmira. It is the most populated Mennonite community in Canada. Yeah, and it's really something to see all the horse and buggies out on the streets and parked at the grocery stores. It's really fascinating.
Good call, 10-5.
Love this little town.
It's so dry in here, eh?
So a hit called for Erin Morrissey in her first of the fourth end.
Yes! Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa. No.
Erin is the 2011 mixed champion, playing third for Chris Gardner, and he's also in this competition playing for Greg Balston. As well, Brad Kidd was on that same team, and he's here with Greg as well.
Curling world is really so small, so you not only end up playing against each other forever, but you never know who you're going to play with next.
I know.
No, not at all.
This is a double attempt by Janet, and it will just blow by. So still 2 rocks up in the top 12 for Team Auld. This ice, too, is sensitive when you up your weight. If you out your release at all, too, it's also just going to run. So though it curls, and that can be the tricky part to wrap your mind around, it curls, but not when you up the weight, and that's pretty characteristic of arena ice.
This path will be good.
On the men's side, quick update on where we're at in the standings too. It's Team McDonald who's leading the standings at 5-0, yet to be defeated. Team Epping, Team Thomas, and Team Howard all at 4-1. At 2 and 3 are Team Ferris, Durrell, and Ballston. Team Retchless and Team Dow at 1 and 4, and Team Bice searching for their first win, but they're in good shape so far this game. Again, we'll keep you updated on those scores as we go.
3 it was, same weight. I liked your throw, I'm tightening your ice.
Good information there. Problem is when you miss a shot, Danielle, like that, you know, you miss it wide, you tend to overcompensate by throwing it narrow. But the skip has also overcompensated with the ice she's giving.
Okay, good.
And exactly what you just said there. And sometimes as a skip, it's important to read off the handle and then even have a conversation with your players, even though they usually throw it a certain way. Maybe one turn is thrown straighter than another. There's always the odd game where something changes and maybe their tendency is to now be a little narrow rather than a little wider. And having that conversation mid-game and deciding whether you're going to adjust the broom or adjust the throw is pretty important.
Yeah.
Because you're not about to put on a little clinic in the middle of the game and say, hold on a second, we need to go figure out this out turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw positive rotations.
So a little bit unfortunate for the Murphy team in that those two front rocks are now staggered. Gives Kathy a chance here to get one around these.
And this is a spot on the ice that goes sideways. They will get it by the guard.
Go! Right in there! Go, 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 go!
And drag it into the forefoot. Beautiful shot. Beautifully swept as well.
Down, eh?
Just having another look at that draw. Just gets by the guards.
We want to basically hit what we can see.
Sweep it right into the top forefoot. It's a perfect shot.
Yeah.
I think Justin's going to take on
At least this opens up one side of
the double here. She thinks it's there.
And Team Murphy has the hammer at this end, but they need a way to get into the button, and Kathy really cut down the scoring area. So need the double. Justin with her first of the fourth end.
Hard! Yep! Yep! Hard! Hard!
She got the hit, but it will jam on the back. But the positive of that one is that it's now, Kathy's rock is now not as close to the button, and it opens up the scoring area a hair. Now, however, Kathy's looking at playing a hit and roll off of the yellow rock to try to block off that in-turn draw.
Let's see. I think I like this because they're second. So we can hit. Just 10.
This is Kathy Auld's last rock of the fourth end. Playing a hit and flop to lie 3. Get the hit, And a rollover, and that is virtually perfect, Mary.
Yeah, she got a great roll on that.
So this is Team Murphy facing 3.
Close. It's close. I don't think it's worth giving up a 2 steal for a deuce. Yeah, 9. Yours did.
And while we're waiting, we got to update you on a beautiful shot Glenn Howard just threw. He threw a run, triple tap, something or other. He's now
not
sitting.
Convinced ours doesn't just go over the top, so I don't think it's worth the 2 steal.
His team was in a world of trouble that he just got them out of, and there's still a couple more rocks on that end, but had to give that a quick mention. Now back on our feature sheet, Team Murphy is elected to play the straight run back, the yellow onto the rock in the 4-foot. Yep. Big pressure shot here.
Yep. Yep. Hard. 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 Yep. Hard. Hard. Sit there.
Makes the hit, but it will be a steal of 2 for Team Auld. That will be a 4-1 lead. Team Kathy Auld over Team Justin Murphy.
Well, that was a tough situation for Justin. There was really no draw opportunity for her. So I think that was the best choice. And at least she got rid of 1. You know, she's down 3 points, but 5-rock rule, Danielle. Just lots of time.
Absolutely, my favorite phrase.
Yeah.
3 is the new 2.
Right.
So threes aren't uncommon to see nowadays with the 5-rock rule, just because the whole purpose of it is to generate more offense. So we are seeing more 3s being scored, and a lead, even though Team Auld is up by 3, it's still, they're not exactly comfortable, even with that kind of lead, especially not since Team Murphy has the hammer.
Yeah, I like that. We know how to bury it on both sides.
Quick update across the sheets. Have Team Bice. Oh, we're just seeing the score go up there. Looked like it was Team Ferris picked up a point. Oh, we're just waiting for them to move out of the way. So it will, they picked up a single point. So Team Bice continues to lead. Now it's a 3-2 lead. Team Howard is playing Team Wretchless. They're tied 1-1. Currently, it looks like Team Wretchless is sitting either 1 or 2. And Glenn is going for what looks like either a straight draw or can use a bit of backing possibly to pick up a single. And in the Brandwood and Horton game, they are tied 1-1. And it is last rock for Team Brandwood. They have an open hit for the single.
So Murphy's first call was a corner guard. It's very tight to the rings. Kathy Auld's choosing to go in the rings. I wouldn't be surprised if Murphy puts up another longer corner guard. I think that would be a good call. I think that's what she's going to do. Just over the hog.
I love the double corner guards on the same side.
Yeah.
Really effective way to try to minimize the ability of the opposition to play a double if you place them correctly.
Again, it's tough shots for the lead, I have to say. Like, you know, you put that kind of a 2-3 zone, and you're so afraid to hog the rock by putting it just over the hog line. It's a skill.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of respect for leads too. Because I've played every position at a provincial, national, and world level, and I find lead actually the most challenging position personally.
Yeah, it can be.
It's a different. I like the pressure of skipping, but it's a different kind of pressure at lead.
It is.
Like you said, especially towards the end of the game, if you need a guard up there and you don't get up a guard, your end could be shot.
Right.
So I have a lot of respect for what the leads do. Yeah. That's for sure.
Me too. So now Justin is able to hit. Again, you know, wants to keep her shooter in place somewhere.
Yeah, that was a great setup by Team Auld with all the rocks in the center and forcing them to make a play on this. They can't ignore this exactly right now.
And Stephanie a little out there. That'll let Kathy get up there and start peeling. That's why it was important to keep that rock in play.
An update for you on the Brandwood and Horton game. It was, as I mentioned, an open hit for Brandwood. She just looked like a little too much weight and gave up a steal of one. They rolled just far enough to give Team Horton a 2-1 lead. Got the hit and even the roll over to the center. Not quite guarding it, but pretty darn close. So because they are open and accessible, Stephanie Matheson will have a second crack at the hit on the center line.
Lean. Wall. 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 Curl. Curl hard. Curl hard. Curl hard. Yep. 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 Little more.
And that's a great shot. Didn't quite bounce it out, but actually not bad where they left that rock. Again, Team Murphy has the hammer, so that blue rock for Team Auld could potentially be problematic at some point if Team Murphy is able to get one buried behind there, and it might be a jam situation. I'll come up to nose.
I think don't roll too far. 10.
So that's kind of what I was talking about there. If they play the hit and roll, Justin would like to roll sort of somewhere in between almost the blue and the yellow guard, and that's thinking that if Kathy ever peels out that center line guard, that she'd have some good angles on her next one. So smart to think ahead like that.
Wall. Still wall. Yep. Wall. Wall. Curl. Hard curl. Hard curl to roll it. Yep, 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 yep. Nice shot.
I like that. Good shot.
11-3.
And even though it didn't roll as far as they wanted, really it is a good shot, because as you can see now, that this is where that blue is in a jam situation.
What are you guarding, though?
Just the question was to guard something, and I agree with Kathy. Not sure what they're sure what they would be guarding. I would say even if they could tuck a good chunk underneath of that one would be a good, right where Kathy is indicating.
Well, you could also peel the guard. You're up 3 points.
Timeout. Timeout called by Team Auld. And the team is going to gather at the end for consultation.
We'll have a listen in here.
What if you come down and freeze to the inside of that? You can't freeze on the outside.
Oh, because then they just intuit phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could freeze just to the inside, or like even if we're nose, that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
What's the option if on the freeze?
Well, I don't want to move it to shot.
No, so a hair short if anything, but.
Yeah. And the other option is it will curl here if you want to throw hack.
Yeah, I guess. That's
Like
not,
it will.
then
Like it's gonna come hard at the end.
Even if you, what happens if you play a 10? Can't you play it over top of the blue and be open there?
Well, one, I think that's tricky, and two, it doesn't help us because then
Who's
she
our
just
shooter?
loops.
Yeah.
She just loops right around.
Yeah,
So I don't think that helps us. I like hack. Let's try and play hack and move it.
Options: the guard or the jam.
Yeah, I like hack.
Yeah. What's the option?
Huh?
What's the option? Like a little tight to the guard.
Yeah,
or-
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so final answer here, Danielle. I think they're going to go after this yellow one with kind of a hack weight. Wait till she puts the broom down. No, a little bit more than hack weight, but she is going to go after the yellow one. Of course, the problem is there's a jam possibility, which would not be good for the Auld team.
And I mean, if they're confident in this shot, then by all means.
Yes! Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa! Yes, yes, Karen!
So now they're
Hard, Karen! Hard! Yep,
trying to hit it across the top, over the top of it, and good call by Kathy on that.
Okay.
Avoided the jam. That was not an easy shot, Mary.
That could have been disastrous.
Well, even if they had just wicked the guard and opened it up and left that blue one as another corner guard for Murphy, that was the danger. You basically had to make that shot perfect.
Broom. Line's good now. Line's good. Whoa. Curl first. Whoa. 14-5.
It's really diving. Whoa, oh, it's great.
Some nice
Great
curl,
shot.
and that is fully buried. Beautiful shot by Janet.
Nice throw.
Yeah, I think Kathy has no option. I think just to play the run back here.
Talk about tolerance and the way to miss this. This is a line tolerance shot, and she doesn't run it straight back. The other option is hang it low side, so the center line side, and potentially peeling out not only the rock above, but also the corner guard as well.
Yep, yes! Hard! Hard! Yep, whoa, 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 whoa.
It's a bit more of an over curl than they expected, and it'll just take the guard.
Okay, just a little snug, eh?
two options here. The option they chose, they could also play partially around that corner guard, partially blocking their own.
I think a little more. Yeah, a little more. Yeah.
I mean, both shots have their difficulties. With this one, they really need to make sure that they are not leaving Kathy any sort of a double.
T-line. The double will jam, hit and roll will jam. And if she freezes, she can't be shot without giving us a shot for 3. Okay.
And especially they want to make sure that this is
Biting
really
middle
well
four
placed
is
top
okay.
4.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring her too close so that she can nose freeze and be shot. Yeah.
Justin Murphy from Mississauga, Ontario.
Not a big press. Room, line's good. Lots of line. Curl first if you can. Curl. Oh. Pretty good, guys.
It's pretty good.
Nice sweep.
Might have liked to have seen them take that.
So I think we just play nose on this.
They did get into a position where it might jam for the double, and Kathy's not willing to take that chance. I mean, this is also a scoreboard call.
Right.
They're up by 3, and if they give up 2 here, well, not bad. You take hammer into the even ends. This is Kathy Auld's last rock of the 5th end.
Yes! Okay. That's fine.
We got the hit and mission accomplished. They were never going to be shot out of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
she knew she was giving up 2 here, just had to make that go away.
Yeah, so this is a draw for 2.
Just taking a little more line, basically the same path. Once it starts to curl, I think we'll get into the same spot.
So it's interesting here, Mary. She took a little bit more broom than her first shot.
Yeah.
Because it won't get to the center line, they just have to be careful about how long it runs before it starts making its move.
Right.
And so it's all up to the sweepers to judge this one, needing a piece of the 4 to pick up their deuce here in end number 5.
Little less slide, more press. Line's good.
Sweepers on and off.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And that's good for 2. It would be Team Auld with a 4-3 lead going into the break.
And we'll have more curling coming up your way right after the 5th end break.
Oh, 5th end break. Yep.
Why is curling such a passion for Canadian farmers? We think we know. In farming and curling, the idea is the same. It's about friends and family, teamwork, using the right tools, and getting it done under pressure. That's why New Holland and Pioneer Hybrid are proud to support Curling Canada, helping to grow the game we love. From your team at New Holland and Pioneer Hybrid, here's to success in the field and fun in the rink.
Every day you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town, or many things to many towns all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move to places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all three.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
I believe hard work and honest sweat are the building blocks of a person's character.
I believe farming nurtures the close family ties that make life rich in ways money can't buy.
I believe that true happiness comes from watching your crops ripen in the field, your children grow tall in the sun, your whole family feel the pride that springs from their shared experience.
I believe in farming because it makes all this possible. Long before the snow begins to melt, planning for the seeding season is underway. Start seeding off strong by using the right drill for the job. New Holland's P2082 disc drill precisely and consistently places seed and fertilizer for rapid nutrient uptake, and it does it all in one pass. Experience equal and even emergence through the innovation of New Holland. To learn more, visit your local New Holland dealer.
And welcome back to the Women's Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by Curl-On and Title Sports Live. I'm Mary Chilvers, along
Line's
with
good.
Danielle Inglis. And if you're just joining us, we have a score of
Line's
4
good,
to
2.5.
3 with Kathy Auld
curling yet.
over Justin Murphy.
Whoa.
Kathy Auld has the hammer here in the 6th.
And a pretty important game for both of
nicely now.
these teams. Team Murphy is currently sitting at 2-1 in the
15-6.
standings. Team Auld at 1-2. And we've got Team Home and Team Duncan leading the women's side with 3-0. And Team Horton, Team Tippin, Team Harrison are joining Team Auld at 1-2, and then Team Brandwood 0-3. But an update for you on the 3 other games going on this afternoon. Team Bice has a 3-2 lead over Team Ferris. Team Brandwood and Team Horton are tied up at 2-all, and it is quite the game going on Sheet B. There's Team Retchless with a 3-1 lead over Team Howard, and from what we've glanced over there, Glenn has been facing a pile of Retchless rocks every time he goes to throw.
He has. I'm not sure if the Retchless team is just really playing well, or if Howard's team is just not quite up to their normal standard, but Glenn's had some pretty hard shots to get them out of some jams.
Clean. Yep. Yep.
The first half of the game, if you're just joining us for the broadcast, it's been back and forth, but it was end 4 with a steal of 2 for Team Auld. They had forced Justin into a run for a single point. She did make contact with the rock, but she spilled out and giving up the deuce, and they did manage to take back 2 in the 5th, but they continue to trail. And a hit and roll. So that's in the middle, and Team Murphy calling center line guard. Going for either they're trying to steal this end or at least force Team Auld to a single point. So expect to see some offense out of Team Murphy this end. Of course, if you have any questions for myself or Mary, you can always tweet us and ask. You can get a hold of me at Inglis Danielle. That's Inglis like the dishwasher.
Or at Mary Chilvers. We like to hear the questions.
That center line guard over curled a bit, so now Kathy has her rock that's tight to the rings available to use. Calling the tap. Calling the split. We're hoping to cross the face for this split. It's going to come up almost to nose. Pretty nice weight on that. Just about a half a rock more, and that would have been perfect. They would have split their rock behind the guard.
11.
Oh, Justin's asking Steph Matheson to play a board weight hidden roll off of the Team Auld rock in the back of the house. Rock is hanging out there. Sweep to curl. We'll get the hit, and it'll be just up to nose. Team Auld also going to pursue the rock in the back, and right out of the hand, sweepers pick it up. A great brush by Erin Morrissey, and a hair of a flop in behind. Now Team Auld is liking that it's approaching above the tee line, but it's just touching the back. So Team Murphy would be happy with a freeze here. Spot these players are very familiar with, having thrown the draw of the button there. Throwing several draws here.
Line's good. Real, line's good. Whoa, curl only right now. Has not curled.
It's like there is a ton of weight on this rock.
No, you gotta curl, you gotta curl, you gotta curl. You gotta go curl, yep.
Pretty close. That would have been about back 8, back 12. Called a 13-7. That's also what I got on that one. And so that path in particular is closer to 14 seconds in between hog lines. We've got paths on the ice that are more like 14-5 or upwards of 14-8. It's important for everyone on the team to understand what each path is doing, whether you're throwing the rock, sweeping the rock, or even as the skip, to select paths that the team is familiar with. Okay, at the hit and a hair of a flop behind. The double is there. He's skinny the guard. And it's Team Auld with the hammer.
Yeah, I think it's time for Murphy team to start cleaning some stuff up. It's getting a little crowded in that house.
Janet Murphy with the double attempt. Big scrub from Justin, and it looks like it just got out. So nice throw by Janet. Great scrub by the skipper out of the back of the rings. Now, even though they did get that double, they're still leaving Kathy the opportunity to make a play around these center rocks. Center line guards, and if they can nestle a nice one in here, full 8 or biting the 4-foot, they'd be in some good shape to score multiple. So this is the side that has a lot of finish, so it may look like it's way out there, but it will finish. See it finish, partially buried, but it is a pretty high guard here, Mary.
Oh yeah, on this ice you can get around this no problem.
They actually might have liked the weight was pretty close. They might have liked to have waited on that sweep for a bit just to have it catch the curl a little bit more, and they could have swept it in. Again, for that shot, they really wanted to get that buried, and full 8 would have done the trick.
Yeah, she was real.
So good opportunity here for Justin.
If we can flop under, that's
Get a
great.
little
Guard's
flop
pretty high.
underneath those guards.
11.
Justin with her first rock of the 6th end. And that's a beautiful hit and roll onto the button.
Nice.
Kind of rolled a bit too far, I think, Danielle. Just because it does leave this shot for Kathy. I guess it would have left it no matter what. But great shot just the same.
I do always like it as the opposition when we're making our opponents throw a run back.
Yeah.
Always a pretty...
They're sure not gimmies, are they?
No, they aren't.
No. Well, not... Maybe for those elite men out there, they seem to make them pretty easy, but... And a lot of the elite women's teams.
Big scrub right out of the hand. We'll send that through the uprights.
Actually, Danielle, I was a little surprised on the weight on that shot. I thought she could have thrown it harder, just to control it more, the line especially.
Agreed. I mean, there's something to be said for throwing a little bit less weight to make it easier to stick around when you make contact with the rock. But I agree with you, Mary, where you on ice that curls, if you up your weight slightly, it'll, and you still introduce some curl into it, but not having to factor a huge amount in, that can be helpful. Because now this end has made a huge turnaround. It was in Kathy's favor, but now Team Murphy sitting pretty and can put some serious pressure on Team Auld.
Not a lot of bad. Line's great.
Sweepers thinking it's about top 12. Tight now.
Curl, curl, curl. Hard, curl. Hard, yep. Hard, yep. Hard, hard.
And that is a beautifully placed guard.
Nice spot, guys. Nice spot. It was a big kick, eh?
Well, Kathy with no hesitation on this last call.
Just playing the open hit again. This is a scoreboard call. She's up 1 right now, and giving up 1, being tied. She'll still have the hammer in the next end. And so this is the last rock of the 6th end. And they'll make that, so it's a steal of 1 for Team Murphy. And we are all squared up on our feature sheet at 4-all. We'll give you an update in a few minutes on the other sheets. They're just throwing their last couple rocks of the end.
There we go.
But in the meantime, we did have a Twitter question. Someone asking,
I think that kind of
what reading or other resources would you recommend for advanced skip strategy? I appreciate your hashtag too. Hashtag washing machine. The quite honestly, I would say some of your best strategy can be found by watching broadcasts and truly listening to what the skips have to say, the teams have to say, and what the commentators have to say. The more you can watch the different strategies you pick up and learn why they may be throwing something. So you have the players talking about what they might be throwing, the commentators explaining why they might make one shot selection over another, or perhaps even giving alternatives that they could consider. And really, that's what some of the best players in the game do. They simply they're students of the game, and they're studying what their opposition is doing. They're studying what they see on TV and learning that way. And also, I would also recommend that if you're looking to learn more about the game is to get involved with a coach or having a private coaching session, or perhaps your curling facility has a coach on site. If they don't, actually, Curl On has this great program. And what it is they offer curling courses to curling clubs. So each club gets 1 or 2 free sessions with certified coaches. And it's dependent on the size of your club, whether you get 1 or 2. After that, the clinic team can come in at a cost to come in and do more clinics, but it's up to your club to decide which kind of clinic you'd like to see. So if you're at a club that hasn't taken advantage of that, or even doesn't mind paying for instructors to come in, has that in their budget to be able to do that, I would recommend getting in touch with your club manager to see if that's an option. It's a great way to learn more. And as promised, the update across the sheets over on sheet D. Team Horton with the deuce in end 6. They lead Team Brandwood 4-2. It was Team Ferris blanking the 6th end as well. Sorry, Team Bice blanking the 6th end. They maintain their 3-2 lead. And Team Wretchless holding Team Howard to a single point in end 6, and Team Wretchless is up 3-2 with the hammer in end 7.
And on our featured sheet, Grace Holyoke, lead for the Murphy team. Going to draw one in the rings here. Grace is a student at George Brown College, lives in Toronto. She's actually had a lot of junior success, U21 provincial champion, playing 3rd for Haley Armstrong and playing 3rd for Emma Wallingford in 2017-2018. This is Grace and Justin's first year out of junior curling. So I'm sure it's a thrill for them to get to their first Scotties right out of juniors.
Big scrub on this rock. Need to avoid removing the guard. And they just kiss off it.
You like another guard?
So Team Murphy, they're saying shot rock in the top 8. I'll be happy just to throw up another guard on this rock.
Stephanie Matheson was runner-up in 2017 in this event, playing with Jacqueline Harrison. Lost to Holman in the final.
Whoa! Curl! Curl! Curl, Janet! Curl, Janet! Curl! Yep, keep going. Yep.
This rock is way out there.
Little more.
You see the finish. And it finished up. They would have liked that to have curled a little more. The thing is, when you throw less weight, it has less time to finish there. So that's why we didn't see quite as much finish as they would have liked. Still forcing Kathy into a peel. Will get the run, remove 2 of the rocks in the house. They'll leave themselves sitting. Team Murphy's rock over on the side. Team Murphy planning more offense for this end. I had a question on Twitter asking me if my mixed team will be taking a run at defending our world title this season. The way it works is that we qualified for Worlds back 2 Novembers ago, and we ended up going this past October to Worlds, and in between that, we ended up playing provincials. We had a bit of a different lineup. Mike Anderson wasn't able to be with us, and we were at the provincials, but unfortunately did not win. So we won't be defending our world title. But then in reference to this season and what we'll be doing, this is actually, not many people know this actually, we will not be playing mixed this season. And that's simply because our lead, Lauren Harrison, she is due in April, right around provincials, and her husband, Sean, will, of course, be there supporting her. So we're losing 2 of our teammates. Mike Anderson is getting married to his fiancée, Laura, and that's happening in about less than a month after provincials. It's a busy time of season for me work-wise. Done a lot of curling this season, so happy to take a little bit of a time out. So that's the story on our mixed team this season. Appeal, got her done, clipped a little.
Seeing a bit of a baby boom this year, Danielle, with quite a few girls out there that are having babies in the spring.
It's something you see quite often the first year of the quadrennial. So the year after the Olympics, teams now structure their whole cycle more so in 4-year cycles, so leading up to the Olympics. But even if you're a team who's perhaps not destined for the Olympic trials, it affects you too, because the changes that happen at the top trickle down to the bottom. So every team is on a 4-year cycle. So if you're going to have a baby, most teams try to do that in that first year when the points don't really matter quite as much. So a couple women in this field, of course, Rachel Homan, Joanne Courtney, and Emma and Lisa would like to say that the only thing they're expecting is another round.
Yes,
you see on their tweet. It was, Holly Duncan is expecting also around April. I believe, Mary, that's all we have in our provincial field right now.
I think so, yeah.
But certainly many across Canada. We had several in this field who just had children. Julie Tippin being one. Stephanie Matheson, as mentioned earlier.
So we're going to have a little discussion here with the Murphy team. Let's have a listen.
The guard that I just threw and place the hit and roll. We have no drop happen to chase it.
So do we go in like top 8 around our yellow guard?
Yeah, we could.
Don't really want to go deep.
No, we could. Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I do.
Like
I don't want to go deep and let her freeze. Yeah. What about wide around the blue? What's the better spot? Difficult. Yeah, you can get there. That's what I like better. Okay.
So big discussion there actually for both teams, and Team Murphy has decided to make a come around that yellow corner-ish guard. And if this happens, we overheard Kathy and Aaron talking about the fact that they'd ignore that and just play a straight come around there. Again, Kathy having the hammer in a tie game, like to try to generate some offense for at least a deuce with 3 rocks remaining.
Wider. Whoa.
This one's not taking the curl yet, starting to go now.
Hard, 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 hard curl, hard.
Whoa. Okay.
And well, there is a creative way of doing that. You just saw that there.
Question is, how do you get there?
So they did talk about the come around the blue guard, but the way the yellow and blue guards are staggered and how much it curls, it's a very tough draw. So now they're electing to play a more of like a board weight hit. And they will catch it, but roll out of play. Well, Team Murphy can play the exact same shot.
Yeah, that shot for Aaron, it was kind of, I hate to say, but a bit of a wasted shot there. I don't know how much they were going to accomplish there, even if they had made it. I don't know if you could have rolled in for shot rock. I understand, though, that there was no real good place to draw. The way, you know, with the curl in the ice.
Okay.
I think you probably could have played the outturn draw, the one that Janet Murphy had just played.
That's what I thought they, when heard Kathy and Aaron talking, discussing earlier, I thought that too was the draw that they were talking about. But it will be Team Murphy playing that draw, the outturn draw in behind the corner, looking for the top 8, top 4 area.
Line's pretty good. Still room. Really curling. Curl. It's going sideways. Curl. Hard.
You can see all the finishes laid there. They almost get buried.
So that would have been a good shot for Kathy to have called there.
You can see it really finishes hard there. So she could have gone around even that rock. It was in the top 8.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The way Kathy's rocks typically finish too, we talk about late finish on this ice. Well, Kathy's are known to break late anyways, so she gets a little bit of extra late finish.
Yeah.
Just the way she throws the rock. Her release is actually really good on straight ice too. She's able to find a little bit more curl with it generally, but she's also an experienced player and knows how to switch it up when she gets on ice that curls. This is Kathy's first rock of the 7th end. And a beautiful shot. Gets the hit and the roll in behind the guard.
Wow, really tight to the guard, eh?
Okay.
So originally Justin had looked at playing the inside out, but Janet pointed out that that guard is pretty high and they can come from the outside in. I wanted to say quite easily there. It's not the easiest shot, but it's certainly there the way the ice curls.
Just curl all the way into the blue.
Yeah. A little more.
Again, with this ice too, they have to make sure that they don't overthrow it because it needs to have the weight that they broom for to allow for the curl. You don't want to end up wrecking off of your rock that's in the house. So it'll be Team Murphy's last rock of the 7th end.
Whoa. Hard. Hard.
And that was just as I said, just a hair. I think it was less about the weight. She threw pretty nice weight, but it was they swept it early.
Yeah.
So a draw for 2 for Kathy Auld.
No.
This is a spot where Justin had thrown a couple ends ago too. It's a path that's well worn in. Chance for a deuce, take a 2-0 lead here in the 7th for Team Auld.
Whoa. You can come to ours, but we're not on ours yet. Whoa.
And that is good for the deuce, and Team Auld taking a 6-4 lead over Team Murphy after 7 ends of play. And we'll have a look at our other sheets and give you an update on our other women's game out here this afternoon. Team Horton stealing 2 in end 7. They now lead Team Brandwood 6-2. Team Bice now up 4-2 over Team Ferris. And we're awaiting the scorekeepers putting up the score in the Howard Retchless game. It was Team Retchless up 3-2. And we'll give you an update in a moment on that one. And it looks like Team Howard stealing 2 in N7, and they overtake Team Retchless 4-3. And even though Team Howard is one of the favorites coming in here, they haven't been handed really any wins besides one that I can think of.
Yeah, they've had to earn them.
Not behind the tee. Okay. Thanks.
And Hugh Murphy, the coach of Team Murphy, he actually is behind the ice surface there. You just aren't able to see him because he's doing a little bit of pacing a little bit further back.
Line's good. Starting to curl now.
So,
Whoa.
Mary, you see that there are only 2 teams in the women's field who have coaches listed.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Nice shot.
Well, I'm a little surprised. Women's teams tend to go for coaches. You will rarely see a men's team here with a coach. I know John Epping has a coach, but I don't know, Danielle. I think perhaps there's just not enough, high caliber coaches out there to take the week off to come to this event with these teams. It's tough. Coaching is a very tough job. I mean, if you want to coach a team full time, you're on the road as much as they are, and it's a big commitment. So I think there's just a lack of them.
Absolutely. You even see some of the players coaching themselves. Team Epping coaches, John Epping coaches Carrie Galusha's team.
Center.
He'll be going with them to the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Also see, looking across the ice, several of the players coach at the Trillium Curling Camp, which is a high-performance camp for players aged 13 to 18, as well as at the Hot Shots camps. They also do some coaching, private lessons. But yeah, it's true. You have a lot of experience on the ice that sometimes some teams don't feel that they're, like you said, trying to find a coach who is available to play, to guide the team throughout the week can be tough to come by, and really to find such a high level coach that's going to contribute something to the team.
Yeah, a good example is Eve Muirhead, who has, Glenn Howard coming and coaching at their big events. And you can't ask for anything better than a coach like Glenn Howard, because really all you really need at this point is strategic help. And who better to get out there to tell you what the good options are on a shot than a Glenn Howard or a John Epping.
I think too, even through playing mixed for all these years, the one thing I've appreciated is the different approach that men have to the game as opposed to women. Part of it is just the ability to move so much granite accurately with one stone is a big part of it. So you often see men playing more offensively because they know that they have that in their back pocket. If they get in trouble, sort of mid-end, they can just throw one down and boom, situation change. Not to say that women don't have that, but it's not always the first thing they think of. Now, it depends on the team you're talking about. Team Homan, of course, has well-known firepower on their team, as do some of the other women's teams in the field here. But the men just have a bit of a different outlook on the game, so it's nice to get that kind of input as well. It looks fully buried from this camera angle.
Yes! Whoa, whoa! Whoa. Okay.
And that was a beautiful run back by Karen.
Wasn't called, I have to say.
But you know what? Sometimes Janet had that little wiki-ticky in off behind the guard, so I think Kathy needed a little bit of one, too.
Yeah, I agree. Did leave the guard there, though, so Stephanie is going to try to draw around this corner guard.
Another thing some of these teams have is a couple teams in the OCC Next Gen program. They have a mentor coach who works with them. Speaking of coaches, the only other men's coach in the field right now is Sean Turruff, and he's the mentor coach with Team Scott McDonald. Now the run back is being called. It's going to need to finish up hard.
That's fine. Roll it. Yep, yep, yep. That's good.
Hit and roll towards the center. At least Team Auld is happy that the play is now being directed to the center, though the only problem right now is that their rocks are behind the tee. But if Team Murphy can get one up even above the tee, force Team Auld to make a play on it, that's a pretty ideal situation.
I like just top four. Line's good.
Straight draw called for Janet Murphy.
Room. Got a curl. Straight. Can you come off this yellow? Straight. Hard. Hard.
And they were originally playing that draw. It came in a little heavy. Justin trying to call off the yellow, but they will miss it. So
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Kathy's calling the draw.
Yeah.
And Team Murphy has the hammer. They're just going to elect.
If she comes right back, we come on top of her. Problem is, you're always going to have that pocket, right? Okay.
And as you heard, they need to keep this above the tee, but they don't want to be too far up. Otherwise, Team Murphy will be able to come straight to the back one. They could have elected to play the hit and roll, but that's a way more precise shot, and it's much easier to get here with the draw.
Whoa, never. We have to be above the tee. Whoa. No. 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 No, Karen, if anything. Whoa. No, no. 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 Karen, yep. Whoa, whoa. Okay, good.
So they just barely kept it above the tee. Would have liked that, as mentioned, to be higher. Team Murphy can play a freeze or even a hair of a tap. Question from our viewers about which game will be live streamed tonight. We are always live streaming Sheet C, and that tonight will be Team Ballston and Team Dow. Whoa. But of course, we'll be updating you on all of the scores across the sheets as we go.
Whoa. Curl, yep. Yep. Starting to go, yep. All the way over. Hard, hard.
We have to mention, yep, Danielle, that our Wednesday night teammate plays on the Ballston team.
That's right, Mr. Andrew Denny Petch.
That's right. I haven't had a chance. Have you seen him yet this week? I haven't talked to him.
I have seen him from above.
Yes. Yeah, me too. That's it.
But they were pretty excited to qualify through the Leaside qualifying event. A lot of talent on that team.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like they're playing a back 12 tap. Hair of a roll underneath the guard.
As soon as we're by the guard, go hard on it, Karen. Weight's pretty good down this path, eh?
Like it's coming down with a little more than back 12. They're sweeping this to curl.
Hard! Yes! Hard! That's fine.
And even though they didn't quite get the angle they wanted, they did get a half decent angle out of this. They originally talked about playing about the same shot on the blue. Will roll over, but that's a bit of a delicate shot, so they are opting to play the in-turn draw.
Yeah, like this, you can definitely get a second shot here.
It's right on the tee line.
Just be darn careful she doesn't leave any kind of a double for Kathy.
Team Murphy with the hammer in end 8. This is Justin Murphy's first rock of the 8th end.
I dropped it a little. Yep. Line's okay. Line's good. Starting to curl.
I think she's a little heavy here.
Still a pretty precise shot they had to throw.
Because then if she plays that, this rock's coming this way.
Yeah, I like that.
Because we're second, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to risk that split open. Yeah.
Kathy could play that tap, but they're electing to play actually pretty much the same shot that Justin was playing. And they would be happy to hold Team Murphy to the single point. So if they can get one frozen on there, that's pretty decent. I don't know if there would even be a shot for 2 really for Justin. Kathy Auld in her last rock of end 8. It'll go to just about the same place as Justin's. Justin could play the exact same shot down, but she's eyeing up a potential shot for 3. Just figured there is a bit of a risk if they were to play shot for 3, and at this point a deuce right now, Mary, is a pretty good position for them. They need it at this point.
They do, yeah.
3, of course, would be amazing, but it's kind of a risk versus reward situation. Just essentially deciding the risk is not worth it.
No, it is not. I agree.
As fun as it might be to throw that.
Right. Yeah.
So last rock, 8th end, Justin Murphy drawing for 2.
Feels about the same. I like it.
God, that looks like a lot of weight.
Whoa.
Could think about coming off the outside one. Sweeping it to curl though. Looks like it's pretty far out there, and that will rub off, and it'll only be 1 for Team Murphy. So Team Auld will take the hammer into the 9th end with a 6-5 lead.
It's funny, it must be a really fast path there, because both teams were throwing it heavy there, and you could throw that at least 10 feet lighter. Like they didn't use their sweepers at all.
Yep.
So
that's
tricky spot.
It's a really good point, and you're right. There must be something with that to have both teams with the same thing, or they're almost afraid of the same thing. Almost afraid of the overcurl, or thinking they have more backing than they do. An update on our scores: we have our first final of the night. Another steal of 1 for Team Horton. Sealed the deal after 8 ends, and they won over Team Brandwood. That was a 7-2 final score. So that's Team Horton is now at 2-2, and Team Brandwood at 0-4. We also have Team Bice and Team Ferris playing the 9th. It's Team Bice up 4-3. And also at 4-3 is Team Howard over Team Retchless in N9, and Team Retchless blanking the 8th.
Line should be good.
And remember, you can always keep track of the live scores on Curl-On's website at ontcurl.com/scoreboard.
Nice shot.
Tell Justin is not overly happy with herself right now.
Yeah, that's tough, You got a shot fairly makeable shot, I'm going to say, to tie the game up in the 8th end. This is where her mom needs to calm her down, give her some confidence.
Exactly. That's what teammates are for. You have to have a cheerleader or someone who's the voice of positive on the team. Who is that for you when on all your teams? Who comes to mind as being more of a cheerleading type, or the type to get everyone huddled around and sort of bring logic into the picture and say, hey guys, it's going to be okay?
Well, back when I played, there wasn't a lot of that going on. Sports psychology did not exist, where you had your huddles and you tried to give each other confidence. Kim Moore, she played second for us when we went to the Scotties once, and she was definitely the cheerleader on the team. I can't say that I ever was, Danielle. I'd like to say I was, but I wasn't. I would get down on myself. Oh, yeah, and I would get down on them.
I don't see that very often on Wednesday nights.
No, I'm totally different now than back then, for sure.
Now, Team Auld with the hammer in the 9th end. They have one nicely buried on the top 4. Huge power position. And Team Murphy being down, they really need to either force Team Auld into a single or get a steal, so they had to throw 2 center line guards. Great scrub to get that by, and beautiful shot. Those 2 shots from Jen were big. If she didn't get them there, she'd open up the door for Justin. Now they're having to deal with them.
Actually, both leads played 2 perfect shots each in this end.
Yeah, fantastic job.
Starting to curl. Line's good. Line's great. Straight. Yep. Line hard. Stay on it hard. Yep. Hard.
Great line here. Scrub to get it frozen. Not quite, but nice lineup. Kathy's going to kick this off with a straight peel. And the peel is made by Karen.
Another? I prefer that, I think. Okay.
I believe Karen is a kindergarten teacher. Also does some powerlifting in addition to curling.
She's a strong girl, that Karen Rousel. So Justin's calling this one in. I think it's a little too early in the end, because if you put up another guard, Kathy's going to continue to peel the guards. And then later in the end, I think, is when you would want to come into the rings. Not too late, of course, because they do have to deal with Kathy's rock that's sitting on the button right now.
Close for line. Straight. Yep. Line. Hard line. Hard line. Hard. Yep. Gotta roll off the hair. Good. Nice shot.
All right, and that will do. Didn't get the corner freeze, but still ensured that they were not leaving an easy double. Say the double or even the hit, and they can nudge yellow sideways. Or how about the peel of the guard, Mary? What's your saying again?
Has anyone ever regretted peeling the guard?
They are electing to play the hit and roll.
Whoa, whoa, no. No, no, right off. Whoa. Aaron, hard. Go, 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 go. Roll it in there a little. Okay, that's good actually.
They got the hit, and actually an even bigger benefit is that they nudged their rock on the button behind. Now this is
Just straight nose tap. Back 4 weights.
I swear even I'd been commenting on a previous game that the team was pretty youthful and they were making some, well, I'll call youthful strategic errors when they were down. But even though Justin is just out of junior, she's quite call it a mature call here, realizing that don't need to just eliminate the rocks from play right now, but rather just redecorate the house and rejig the angles.
Curl. Yep, yep, curl. Yep, 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 yep. Sit. Sit. Good shot. It's better. It's good.
That's a good shot there by Janet Murphy. If you look on the left side as we look at the rings from our angle, I mean, there is a double raise. Double. For the Murphy team at some point here.
Whoa. Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Yes.
Big scrub, get it by, get the hit, but it will roll all the way over. Could potentially be an out for Justin at some point this end, with an in-off, depending on how things go.
She does have to worry. Kathy is getting a lot of blue rocks in that house.
These calls are showing confidence that they're playing the straight draw. Not an easy shot. There's zero room for tolerance.
Line's good. Line's good. Starting to curl now. Straight, yep. Line's good. Yep, straight, hard line. Whoa, line's great. Whoa, whoa, line's great. Line's great. Right to it. Yep, yep. Good.
Nice shot by Janet Murphy.
That was pretty darn perfect. Great shot, and that's what they needed.
Just peel. Yep, straight peel.
Doesn't want to hit this one on the nose.
Nope, this is just a straight peel for Erin Morrissey. Nicely done.
What about this first?
Just have a listen in here.
It's not really going to help us because we can't get to the 3. We won't have enough time. How much weight? I like it. How much weight?
It's enough to keep your shooter on and not touch it.
Not touch that?
Yeah, that's protecting us from giving up a big end right now. Yeah.
Sure. Timeout.
Timeout being called by Team Murphy. Looks like Hugh Murphy will be making his way down the ice to have a chat. They do have some travel time down there, and then the 60 seconds will start, and we'll see what Coach has to say.
That's one of my thoughts.
Yep.
You originally called this and I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right one. Okay.
Like right now, this one rock is open, yeah. And I don't necessarily want to move it.
Okay.
Now. Like we want to force here or somehow get a steal, but we can't force the 2.
Yeah.
70.
Do we want to remove this rock, the 3 rock? Okay.
If we're hitting it, yeah.
Okay. So we definitely have to be nose. Playing this 6. It would be in. We don't want to move this. Okay. What if we, because the out turn's going to drag it this way a little bit more. We don't really want, that's not bad. I agree. Okay. With 10? If we ever do clip this guy, we still have to remove that.
All right, Mary. So what do you make of this call?
So she's,
I believe it's the yellow back onto the 2 blues. Playing just a 10.
This is where your peel ran a
well,
little straighter, Steph. So, do you like that ice?
it's a little scary to me.
A little more.
If she can make this well, it's all about where they leave their rocks too. As you mentioned,
Exactly.
there are more Auld rocks in there that they have to be careful with. But it will be a run double, soft weight run double for Justin Murphy on her first rock of end number 9.
Whoa! Yep! Hard! Hard! Hard!
That's not bad the way it ended up lining up for them.
No. What about if we play this? That changes the angle. Right? Because if I hit and go off of here, then it changes the angle. It takes it away from here.
Yeah, that's
Right?
Yeah. Not much else.
Even if I just roll into here, it's good, I think. Right there. Yeah, I think a third. Yeah. Even if it just rolls into there, though, it's good. Just change the angles up.
So an in-off being played by Kathy off her own rock. And she's recognizing that there's just a really nice lineup of Murphy stones along the center line. Needs to rearrange those angles.
Yeah, she's trying to roll in and actually maybe slightly even move her blue rock that's sitting in the button. Keep it a shot rock.
Yes!
Change the angles a bit.
Whoa! Close! Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep. Ah.
Oh, and an unfortunate chain of events. They clipped their own right out. So Team Murphy sitting, I believe it's 3 now. No, it's just 2, as you can see on the overhead.
Well, that was definitely the risk in playing that, Danielle, with that kind of weight.
It truly was.
Yeah.
And I can see why she played that kind of weight in that spot, because it does curl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's you had to make it essentially.
We're only half in the forefoot, so I just think a straight guard's already, that center one's already doing it. So are the kick and over the heart.
Just say slow the kick and then put it over the hard. And what she means by that is make sure to really get a nice positive release on it. Like to get piece of the forefoot.
Pretty wide, guys. You're going to come down a lot.
It is pretty wide, but it will curl.
Just choke off this draw. Yep.
And mission accomplished. Even though they're sitting too, but they choked off that draw. Forcing Kathy into a draw to the button for a single. And wow, did that end ever turn around in a hurry, Mary.
One shot.
Last rock of the ninth end, facing two. Kathy Auld needing a piece of the button to pick up the single.
Line's good. Sweep for T. Line's fine. Sweep for T. Yes! Whoa. If I'm heavy, whoa. Yep. Roll it in. Go.
And she does it. A roll off, spin back in, and a single for Team Auld. They will now lead 7-5 going into the 10th end of play. And we'll give you a quick update on the other sheets. Team Wretchless forced a single in N9. They are all tied up. It will be Glenn Howard with the hammer in the last end. Also tied up at 4-all is Team Ferris and Team Bice. Team Ferris stealing one in N9. So that will be Team Bice with the hammer in N10.
Got some good tight games out here this afternoon.
What we'll expect to see in this end is Team Murphy really needs to put some offense up there, so we'll see some corner guards being used, played and then used.
Top four.
And again, this is where the leads position is just so crucial. So for Team Murphy, they need to have those guards up there if they're going to hope to score at least two on this end. And Jen Audi, who is the lead for Team Auld, put a ton of pressure on Team Murphy if she's able to put good one in the forefoot right now.
Yep. Hard, guys. You can't be a corner guard. Hard. Go. Yep. Go. Straight up. Good.
And she gets one into the top 8. So they have a choice here, Mary, on which side they could throw some corners on, and they've elected to play this side of the ice. The comment was, let's play the side we know.
Yeah. I think both sides curl equally, but they have played a lot on this side. Nicely done.
Yep.
So Kathy's first blue rock there on the top 8, she probably would have liked that a little more closer to center line and maybe biting the forefoot. Then she might have considered putting even a tight guard on it, but it's not in the best position, so she's just going to draw another one in the house.
Top 4. Yep.
rock is cruising in here, has the line, needs to stop above tee.
Okay, good.
I'll hit the brakes rate back button. And a quick update on sheet A. Again, we're tied 4-all. Team Ferris just made a really nice draw to the tee line in behind one of Team Bice's rocks that's half biting the top 12. So for the win, Team Bice needs about a 6-foot run back.
Starting to curl. Right on the sign here. Nice.
And a nice corner guard thrown by Grace. And the run back is just wide, and it will be Team Ferris stealing the 10th end. And they will pick up a 5-4 win. So that will be Team Bice now at 0-6. And Team Ferris will move to 3-3.
Let it work. No, no, no. No. Yep. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, that's fine.
All right, so a freeze there. Not necessarily a planned call. But actually it worked out really nice. So with the two corner guards, but there's a pile of rocks in there, and with that freeze, they need to unlock that nice angle for Team Auld. So Team Murphy playing the hit and flop in behind the guards.
Yep. 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 Hard. Yep, 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 hard.
All right, and they did not get the flop, but they did unlock the back, so that was pretty important. And Kathy knows that that yellow rock is in a pretty solid position.
The other option is to play the guard.
We have another final, and it was Team Howard squeaking out a win, a 5-4 win over Team Wretchless. So Team Howard moves to 5-1, Team Wretchless to 1-5.
Where are we?
Our feature sheet is the last on the ice. If you're just joining our broadcast, Team Auld has a 7-5 lead over Team Murphy. Team Murphy with the hammer in the 10th.
This is a pretty aggressive call by Kathy Auld. She's asking for the guard here, but she's leaving a lot of yellow rocks in play, so I'm not crazy about that.
No, as she said, they're going to be all gone in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So firm weight run for Stephanie Matheson.
Clean. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Hard. 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 Yep. 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 Yep.
And beauty. Even.
Well, that's a great shot by Stephanie.
Yeah, squirting that rock right in behind the guard.
And that's the trouble with Kathy's last call. Now she's really going all out.
Sorry? No, it's not, because you're not going to be a second shot.
Yeah, so this is a big key shot. This is Aaron Morrissey throwing it. And I always say I never like to leave Erin a draw. She usually makes them.
Yeah, okay.
So I think she recognizes the importance of this, took a few extra deep breaths before throwing.
Where are we?
It's a little bit like a bullet right now.
Okay, whoa. We're on the yellow right now. Whoa, no. Let it work. No, no, no. Yep. Yes. Whoa, whoa. Roll it in there. Yep, 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 yep.
Very smart call by Kathy to play the, recognizing that the weight was a little up and to play the redirect. Oh, and actually, we had seen this last night, that very same spot, Mary, and where you just up it a hair and it will run straight till it's fully over. So same shot being asked of Janet Murphy. They need to sit second shot by the time this rock comes to rest.
Room. Line's gonna be good. 6. Starting to curl. Line's great. Straight, yep. Straight, yep. Hard. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, can you go a little? Okay.
And it had the line, just not quite the legs on it. Timeout called by Team Auld. As you can see, they had just under 3 minutes left on the clock. And about 3.5 minutes for Team Murphy.
You can play that, but I don't know what it gets you. I guess it blocks the corner guard, and then where does she hide? Yeah, huh? But I don't know how she ever gets that off of there. So the other option, well, see, the problem is you don't want to set up something she can play onto there, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're really tight on time, so we need to actually throw. So do you like this?
I think so. I mean, make sure
Because we can give her one, so I don't really care about like trying to
guard that.
Yeah. Huh? The problem with that is then she can play that. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's play this. Yep. Yep.
So the thought process behind this shot, of course, is that they're up 2. They're okay giving up a single. They're sitting 2 right now and like to play a hin roll or a double here, because their problem rock right now is that yellow that's sitting in the top 12.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Yes. Hard. Right up, right up, right up, right up, right up, right up. Roll it over. Get out of there.
And job well done.
Good.
The nice thing too, Mary, about where she left that rock is it's fully exposed and could be used to tap or to run later.
That's why I'm wondering if just the freeze on the one on the 4-foot might be a better call. That one right there.
I like this. She's going to play that like we talked about.
As they talked about, she's predicting ahead of what Kathy would play.
Line's good.
Looks like they will be playing the draw round.
Still room. It's got a curl.
Need to get this back so there's some separation.
Yep. Okay.
So a little bit in between Z. I think the way Justin had said that last comment, it felt like she was giving up a little bit there, but I mean, she knows it's a tough situation here. That rock, as you can see, got caught in between the draw around the blue one in the top of the rings and the freeze to the back. So Kathy Auld, this is her first rock of the 10th end, playing the open hit.
Yep. Hard! Hard! Whoa, whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa!
And that's a beauty hit and roll. It leaves this opportunity, and this what Justin's calling is to play a tap, and they'd like to tap that blue rock just to the back four, just beside the other rock in back four. And if they can do that and build that wall behind there, it'd be tough for Kathy to get it out of there. So a skipper's deuce is absolutely still in play.
If we're on the nose, it's pretty close, so just jimmy both of them. Back four weight.
So first shot here for Justin Murphy. 10th end. Murphy with a 1-2 record, Auld with a 2-1 record.
Line's good. Room. Hard.
Going for line here.
Whoa. Yep, yep. Hard, hard, hard.
Need to drag this back and just over curled. So it's a pick for the win for Kathy Auld.
Over girl, sorry.
And this could finish it here. Kathy can make this pick on the Murphy rock in the top four.
Yes! Hard! Hard! Yes! Right out.
And that will do it. And Team Auld picks up the win. So that will take both these teams to 2-2 in the standings. And Mary, what a game.
Yeah, that was a great game. Little, a lot of misses, a few ticks here and there that worked out in their favor, but all in all a good game, and that does put those two at the same record here now. And that will conclude our coverage of Draw 4 of the Women's Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts, with Team Auld defeating Team Murphy, score of 8-5. Please tune in at 7:30 tonight when we will be featuring Team Colin Dow against Team Greg Balsden. Until then, on behalf of the entire TSL crew, we wish you a wonderful evening.
Why is curling such a passion for Canadian farmers? We think we know. In farming and curling, the idea is the same. It's about friends and family, teamwork, using the right tools, and getting it done under pressure. That's why New Holland and Pioneer Hybrid are proud to support Curling Canada, helping to grow the game we love. From your team at New Holland and Pioneer Hybrid, here's to success in the field and fun in the rink.
Every day you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town, or many things to many towns all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move to places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all three.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
I believe hard work and honest sweat are the building blocks of a person's character.
I believe farming nurtures the close family ties that make life rich in ways money can't buy.
I believe that true happiness comes from watching your crops ripen in the field, your children grow tall in the sun, your whole family feel the pride that springs from their shared experience.
I believe in farming because it makes all this possible. Long before the snow begins to melt, planning for the seeding season is underway. Start seeding off strong by using the right drill for the job. New Holland's P2082 disc drill precisely and consistently places seed and fertilizer for rapid nutrient uptake, and it does it all in one pass. Experience equal and even emergence through the innovation of New Holland. To learn more, visit your local New Holland dealer.